it's Teacher Carrie here, and I'm back with another ManyCam tutorial. Today I want to talk you through how to integrate Google Slides into your ManyCam, and I also want to show you an updated feature I found with the newest ManyCam update. No, of course, this video has not been sponsored by anyone, so hashtag not sponsored, and let's jump into it. Now, I do want to say before we get started here that you should definitely go over to the official Facebook group for Google Slides to learn how to get started with Google Slides and get access to all of the files. I am not the creator of any of these Google Slide rewards or the SlideKick app where I find them. And you want to go check out the announcement section in that Google Slides Facebook group in order to get started and get access to everything you need. But I am going to show you today how you can integrate your Google Slides into your ManyCam. So I've just used the SlideKick app here and pulled it up onto my computer desktop and found a reward that I want to use with my student. This particular reward is called Dino Fruit Pick 1 and it's by Josie. So I'm just going to select to open it here, and in order to display it nicely for my students on the screen, what I'm going to want to do is look in the actual web address for this reward and find the word edit. And I want to highlight the word edit and all the characters and things that come after it. And I'm actually going to backspace out of that and write the word preview instead. And when I click enter here, that's going to bring this up nice and large so that I will be able to situate my ManyCam things over the top of it in order to show it in ManyCam. So I can also, of course, squeeze this down so it doesn't take up so much room on my computer desktop, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to have it nice and large so that you can see all the buttons that I'm pressing. Let me move myself out of the way because our next step here is to create a custom desktop area in ManyCam. So I'm just going to go down to one of my open preset boxes. I happen to have number 2 open here. I'm going to click on my plus button, and instead of bringing up my camera, what I want to do is go to desktop and then custom area right here. And that is going to bring me up a little dotted line or dashed line box. It's kind of like a viewfinder. And anything that I put in that box is going to show up on my preset number 2 here. So I'm actually going to cut over to preset number 2, and you can see the little dashed line box floating on the upper left-hand side of my computer screen. I can just pick that up with my mouse and drag it over my Google Slide reward. Now, what I want you to notice about this is that the Google Slide reward is sort of rectangular, and my video feed in ManyCam is sort of square. And so they don't always line up perfectly, which is why you'll get these black, we'll call them rectangles, above and below your reward. But ManyCam has a new feature that can help us a little bit with this. So I want you to notice in my ManyCam window, on the upper right hand side, there's a new button. It says layer and source don't match size. Click to scale the layer. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button, and now I can bring up this Google Slide reward in a way that will look a little bit better for my students. Now this has kind of just enlarged the center section of my reward, but it's a little bit too large and my student is not going to be able to see everything they need to see. So I'm just picking it up and trying to find an edge where I can shrink it down some and then put it back in the center. And now I have sort of just a tiny little bit of black space above and below my Google Slide reward. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my reward by Josie here and just double check that the student could see everything. In this one, I could leave it just like this, but I do want them to see the full picture. So again, I'm just sliding it down until I can find the edge, and I'm going to squeeze it down a little bit more until I'm happy with the placement of it. And for this particular reward, I don't really care if the edges of those little frames are cut off. That's fine. The student can still see everything that's important on this slide. But I do like also that you can move it all the way up to the top if you wanted to, and just have this open black space down below. And I can also change the color of this black space. So I'm going to show you how to do that just because it will make it look a little bit nicer when we're in class. So what I want to do is right click over my video feed and select add new layer. And then here I will press my plus button on the new layer, and I'm going to go down to color source. And then I can check any color I want it to be, change it to any color I want it to be. So I'm going to select this navy color. It's sort of just nice. So in order to make it fit in that space down below here that I want to cover up, what I'm going to do is, again, right click over this new layer. I'm going to go down to Manage Layer, and then I'm going to select Fit to Screen. That's going to make it take up the whole space. But of course, I want this to be in the back of my Google Slide reward, not in front of it. So in order to fix that, I'm going to right click again, go down to Manage Layer again, and this time I'm going to select Send Backward. And that is going to place that nice navy color behind my little Google Slide reward. And again, if I wanted to, I could make it more in the center and have just a little bit of that blue showing on the top and on the bottom instead of it being one solid black or blue rectangle in this case. But of course, I also want the student to be able to see me on the screen. So what I'm going to do is one more time, right click onto my video feed, select Add New Layer again, and this time when I press my plus button, I'm going to go to my camera and select the correct camera for me. Now, if you're not using a green screen, you can be done right here. But if you are using a green screen, of course you're going to want to follow the steps that you normally take in order to make your background transparent. So I'll just go over to my virtual backgrounds widget, turn my little slider on, select chroma key. I'm going to go to the first option, which is transparent background. And then I'm going to adjust my settings to what I like them to be. I like to turn my blur contour all the way up to the right. I change the algorithm to this YUV setting, and then turn my spill suppression and smoothness all the way down to the left. And then I can start clicking with my color picker to disappear my green screen. This seems to come out a little crisper and more clear for me, although sometimes I do have to do a few more clicks than if I was using that other setting, the HSL setting. So it just depends on what you think looks the nicest to you. And then of course I can just move myself around here. And then when I click into this reward, it'll bring it up nice and large for my student. I really like this one. It's super cute. And again, I still have the option to make this a little bit smaller if I wanted it to be, and maybe I could just have that nice border going everywhere. I don't particularly mind if the student can't see that little go to next slide button. So I can just position it this way. And of course, I'm interacting with this reward from my actual computer desktop, not from my ManyCam video feed. So it's kind of like looking through the window. And you need to go to inside the house in order to actually interact with this Google Slide reward. So you want to do all of your pressing buttons from the Google Slide reward itself, not from your ManyCam screen here. But that's a pretty quick and easy way to get your Google Slides situated on your screen. You can also change those colors and of course put yourself on the screen so your student can see you as well. Now, I do usually use my second monitor for my Google Slide rewards, in which case I don't need to do that little shenanigan where I changed the actual web address to preview. When I do this on my secondary monitor, I just go ahead and click. Let's open this one. I just go ahead and click this present button and I select, there we go, we're full screen now. It'll be full screen, but on my secondary monitor when I do that. So I hope that helps you out with your Google Slide rewards. Let me know which rewards you like to use the most. And of course, let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a great day teaching, and I will see you all later. Bye.